Hello everyone, I'm Big Clingy, and welcome to my next project, which, you've probably already guessed anyway, and... Huh? What was that? Did you just see something there? It's probably nothing. Anyway... Game Freak. I love this game company. That's why I've illegally downloaded this game and denied them the money! I'm so awesome! And now, here's the intro for the game, and... Wow, what's this? Is this some kind of epic new Final Fantasy game or something? I mean, aside from that, cybernetic eye patch-like thing, it could easily fit a Fire Emblem setting as well. Just what kind of game is this? Yeah, you've probably already been spoiled by the, intro there, but... And who's this? And what's that big smiley thing that he's touching? Ah, yeah, there's an interesting thing in that shop, but I probably won't get a chance to explain it until much later. And that looks 3D. Apparently, he's just been crowned king of something. But what? Hopes! Shot of Skyro Bridge. Dreams! And annoying mechanics. Discoveries! Stuff I rarely get to do. Stupid minigames! And Haxora should never be using special moves. And welcome to Pokemon Black version. Yeah, a lot of you have probably guessed I'd be doing something like this. Why black? Well, I'll just leave this screen on the awesome shot of Reshiram here and the awesome intro theme. I still love Ruby and Sapphire's main version of the main theme, but still, this one's great. Anyway, I'll just explain why black. Well, one, I said black and white were my favourites in the series in a long time, so I thought it would be nice to do one of them. Secondly, why black version over white version? Simple. I've heard that in America, Pokemon White is more popular than Black, and Zekrom is more popular than Reshiram. I have always felt the opposite. Again, that's me conforming to Japanese views rather than Western ones, and you know, I've never been one to conform to traditional Western views, so I'm gonna go with Black version. That was the version I first played. Of course, that time, I actually bought the game. This time, I'm pirating it without paying any money. Hooray! So, yes, welcome to my Pokemon Black version playthrough. Reshiram roars as we enter the screen where we don't have very much options at the moment. I mean, mic test? Seriously? They couldn't have put that on the DS consoles menu? Anyway, we'll just select new game here, and get the standard Professor's explanation, the whole welcome to the world of Pokemon speech. Yep, she just said it. And speaking of which, she... Yeah, this is Professor Juniper. Everyone calls her Elf Monster. Pokemon Professor. She's actually the series' very first female professor, which is, interesting. She's also pretty cool. Among all the professors I guess she's one of my favourites, if only because she takes a much more active role in the story than many of the other professors do. Even if it's only a minor one, at least she actually does stuff. I mean, most of the other professors usually just do stuff at the beginning and then they're never seen again. Juniper? Well, you'll see. It's not the biggest role, but still, she actually does serve some purpose in the game's plot. Speaking of the game's plot, this game actually has a plot. I should just warn you about that before we go into it. Unlike many other Pokemon games, this game actually does have a plot, and it's a pretty interesting one at that. So this is part of the reason why I like it. They've put a lot more focus on story this time, and the characters, well, they're actually kind of interesting characters, you'll see. So anyway, she's talking about how Pokemon battles are popular. Yeah, we know that. Of course, I've been competitive battling since, well, I've been playing Battle Facility since Gen 3 and competitive battling since Gen 4, but I haven't really gotten much into it in 5, ironically. So, okay, right, finally we get some input here. And of course, we get the infamous question. Yeah, professors seem to be, gender impaired when it comes to their vision. They can't seem to tell. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna go with the male character this time, because I generally always choose the character with the same gender as me for the most part. Right, let's enter my name. So, I thought of something really cool here. I am gonna name my character... Just wait for a moment. To show appreciation for the fact that I am shamelessly software pirating, P-I... Can't find the R. Q... No! R! A... I'm struggling to find the T. T. E. Pirate! Yo ho ho! A software pirate's life for me! Did I mention that I'm pirating this game and not paying money for it? Yes, of course my name is Pirate, because I love software piracy! Yeah, you know, keep saying it, my name is Pirate, I'm a software pirate, hooray! I still find that line hilarious. She's going to introduce us to our two best friends. If we're best friends, we probably don't need introductions. So anyway, as you can tell here, these two characters, well, this is the first one, this guy is going to be the typical rival character. Unfortunately, you can't choose the rivals' names, much to the dismay of many immature young fans who would love to name their rival something insulting. I know I did when I was a kid. I'll share those names with you sometime later down the line. So, there's also Bianca. So in this game we kind of have two rivals, you can't choose their names, and they actually are pretty much more developed characters than most of the rivals in the series, actually. So, yeah, she's already mentioned that we're going to be choosing a Pokemon. So, what will we get to choose out of? Well, you'll see. Again, they're Fire, Water, and Grass, and I will be honest with you right now, this generation's starters are probably not the best set of starters. In fact, they're quite possibly the worst set of starters so far. I seriously hope the X and Y starters make up for it. So anyway, she's talking about how the point of your journey is just to befriend new people in Pokemon and grow as a person. Funnily enough, she gives almost this exact same speech in the sequels, except for one tiny detail that, well, I'll let you notice for yourself. So yeah, the journey is emphasized a lot more in this game than it is in past Pokemon games. So let's go visit the world of Pokemon that I downloaded illegally. On a cold winter's night, it begins. Game Freak, the company who didn't get any money from me because I downloaded this game illegally, presents Red Monster Black version. Professor Juniper enters and leaves the house. Sorry for my pointless narration. And we start right in the top of our room with Cheren already here. They actually get you into this whole thing really quickly. So in a lot of the earlier games in the series, it's pretty annoying how you have to spend often up to about 30 minutes of the start of the game without a Pokemon. And I'll just interrupt myself for a second because awesome music time now! Oh, I love this theme so much. This is one of my favourite tracks in the whole game. It only plays around this scene, but I still love this track. Absolutely amazing. Well, actually one of my favourite tracks in all of gaming, pretty much. Right, now this line about knowing you for 10 years that you had no sense of time, I personally think this line confirms that these protagonists are older than 10. Because seriously, if Cheren had known Bianca for 10 years and she actually was 10, he would have known her since they were both newborns, which doesn't seem that plausible. Me personally, I put these protagonists at around 15 myself, but that's just me. Interestingly enough, the protagonists of X and Y look even older. I know that Wes from Colosseum is still the series' oldest protagonist. He's meant to be about 17. Which is interestingly the same age as Ike in Path of Radiance. But anyway, so yeah, we're gonna jump straight into it. We're gonna pick our starter Pokemon right now. Yeah, this game does away with that whole annoying running around with no Pokemon segment a lot of the earlier games in the series are known for. But first, we actually now get control of our character, and we get to examine, and we've got a Wii console with a Wii remote. Interesting. We can examine stuff in our room and the TV. There's no programs on it about people on a train for some weird reason. Anyway, something I should probably mention now. You probably want to take this opportunity to save. I actually don't need to explain this Pokemon basics, you probably already know this. The people who battle with Pokemon are called Monster Pokemon trainers. Anyway, right, we get a letter here explaining, like, what I was saying before, okay, is that if you want to save, now is a good time. This is the first chance you get to save. Once you have chosen your starter from this box, yeah, you won't get a chance to reset if things go badly, or if you want to reset for your starter's nature. So, what do I mean by things go badly? Well, you'll see. I actually made this mistake. Anyway, Out of these three, Oshawott, the water-type otter, Tepig, the, fire-type pig, and Snivy, the surprisingly mimetically popular. I never really got that with Snivy, personally. I didn't really like Snivy all that much stat-wise. My favourite was Oshawott in this generation, but I don't really like either of the other two. But since I've already picked Oshawott, I'm gonna go with Snivy this time. The reason for that is basically because it has slightly higher defenses. In the long term though, which starter I pick here is not going to make any difference whatsoever. Really, the only thing this is going to affect later on is what starters my rivals choose. And because they'll be using their starters throughout the game. Me? Well, you'll see. So yeah, my actual choice of starter doesn't affect much, but I thought I'd choose Snivy just to be different. Mostly, one, for the extra defense, and, oh, you stupid cheater, you always were gonna say you wanted the one that was good against mine, weren't you? Damn rivals. Oh, judging by our positions, you pretty much know what's gonna happen. Yep, here we go. This is why I recommended you save before, because these early rival battles, they mostly come down to luck, and you may need to reset if you get really unlucky with critical hits. Trust me, I learnt this the hard way. You'll see later on in this video, trust me. So yeah, apparently Bianca's saying, yeah, these little ones are weak, so they won't cause massive structural damage to the house. But that's just tempting fate, isn't it? Okay, I'm ready. Of course, you probably were ready by this point, if you know what to expect from the series. And with a really nice versus screen intro, and the kind of interesting rival battle theme, and Bianca struggling to get her thing out. I still like that animation. Funnily enough, your two rivals are in fact the only trainers in this game with, well, the only trainers apart from one other person, with animated sprites. In Black and White 2, everyone got animated sprites. Speaking of animated sprites, the sprites of the Pokemon battling are also a lot more animated. So yeah, Bianca has the starter that's weak to yours. At this point though, that doesn't really matter. Also yeah, trainers sometimes make comments during battle, which is a feature I quite like. At this point, it doesn't really matter. But what does matter is something very interesting that I'm going to cut off the video to explain. The astute among you will have already noticed that pink symbol near Snivy's level. Yes, my starter is female. This is a really big deal for two reasons. One, if you've got any real knowledge of the series, you'll know that starting Pokemon have a gender ratio of 87.5% male, 12.5% female, meaning that getting a female starter is actually pretty rare. Nowadays, it's not that important due to how easily available Ditto is. Back in Ruby and Sapphire, getting a female starter was a really big deal, because Ditto literally didn't exist, which meant that if you wanted to breed your starter at all, you actually needed to get it female. Again, now it's not really that big a deal, except for bragging rights that, hey, I got lucky and got a female starter. On that note, speaking of bragging rights, I'm going to brag for a bit now. My apologies here, but the other reason why this is so amazing. My Snivy here, my starter, is female. The Oshawott that I started with in my actual first playthrough of the official Black version was also female. Yeah, that's a pretty amazing coincidence. Wait, it gets better. I recently started playing Black 2. I picked my starter for that game, and, you guessed it, female again. I have never got such ridiculous luck with starters in a generation before. I just think this is insane. I have no idea why this happened, but I am officially 3 for 3 when it comes to getting female starters in every single game I've played in Generation 5. And you know what? I'm probably not going to play any other Gen 5 games until Gen 6 comes around, so I think I have a perfect female starter ratio throughout the entire generation. That really shocks me, given that I'm normally horrendously unlucky when it comes to all things Pokemon. You'll see. But anyway, at least I can take solace in the fact that I guess I'm lucky with starter genders? back to the battle. The reason type matchups make no difference at this point is because you're on level 5 and thus don't have your elemental attacks yet. So yeah, it's basically a tackle and Leer contest. Now I maintain that most of these battles basically come down to pure luck. Either A, how much the AI wants to spam Tail Whip and not attack you, and B, how much critical hits either side gets. Like that. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it! I knew I was destined to failure, but not this early. Can we please cut this tape and start over? Consider it a little early bonus for the fail channel. You didn't see that. That didn't just happen. Just forget that ever happened. You did not see that. Right, let's try that again, shall we? Take 2. Okay, Bianca, please don't hack me this time. Now, I'm actually going to admit here that my very first rifle battle when I recently started Black 2, I also lost that because he crit me. Of course, that was challenge mode, and he's one level above you in that mode, but still, again, I maintain these battles mostly come down to luck. You can do a bit of strategy using Leer to lower their defense. You don't want to rely too much on this though. The longer you use Leer for, the more chances they have of critting you. So, yeah, you want to give them as little opportunity to crit you as possible. I'd say 2 Leers is probably about fine. I could go for a 3rd here, or I could just go for tackle. Actually, I'll go for a 3rd. 3 Leers is probably where you want to stop it though. Because, yeah, you want to watch out for that. Now, again, I picked Snivy here because Snivy specializes in defense. It's got higher defense and also speed than the other starters. Ah, right, that's great, I'm 2 in KOing, that's good. Oh, you will let me get away with that. Yes, take that, you stupid haxing AI! Bianca is down! Phew! Those crits are annoying. Hey, wait a minute. Didn't something that's normally supposed to happen not happen there? Oh well, it's probably nothing. And let's just go to more pressing concerns. The room's been totally destroyed. And yeah, yeah, I'm totally going to be an awesome trainer because the room exploded and it seems that one of our Pokemon ran up the wall. I don't exactly know who did. Just look at that back wall there. Someone ran up it. I don't know. If I'd hazard a guess, it'd probably be Snivy. This probably looks more agile. Anyway, yeah, you didn't realize that before? Wow, what would have happened if we were using level 100s? That probably would have destroyed the entire city. It's funny though, why is it that you've fought battles in buildings a long time, in the history of the series, and why is it this is the first time that you completely take out your roof? I guess that both of you are beginner trainers here, and Bianca is kind of a klutz, so kind of makes sense. Thank you for healing. Unfortunately, this healing is kind of a curse in disguise, because, yep, that battle wasn't enough. We have 2 hacks-based rival battles. Stupid hacks. So, okay, yep, we've got another battle. Yeah, 2 battles in a row. This is why I recommended saving, because these can very easily go badly if the AI, again, gets their traditional hacks. Yeah, I am convinced that the Pokemon game AI is out to get you, basically. It just gets critical hits whenever it's gonna screw you over the most. Yeah, well, not your fire move, thankfully. I still always preferred Cheren with Snivy. I just think Snivy really suited his character the most. And in the anime, Bianca had Embor, so I'm guessing that Oshawott, maybe that means that Oshawott is the canon choice for the starter of the first Black and White at least? I still like to pick Oshawott, 1, because it's hands down my favourite of all the starters. 2, I just think the Snivy suits Cheren's character the most. I also really don't think Samurott suits Bianca, but that's a different story. We won't be seeing that until much later. So yeah, another rival battle. Not much to say here. Just Leer or Tail Whip your way through this. Now, I will say the rival battles have got a lot less luck-based. ever since they buffed Tackle to 50 power and 100% accuracy. Yeah, before Tackle didn't have perfect accuracy, and yes! Revenge! I have my revenge! Take that, AI! Ha 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 ha! Oh, that felt so satisfying. Right, now, get out of here, you stupid hacksy bastard. How do you like my crit hacks? Yes, I defeated Cheren. I should certainly gain, a lot from this. I got money and... Hang on a minute. Wait a minute. I swear I missed out on something there. Something's gone very wrong here. Very, very wrong. What's happening? What's going on? I don't know. Just something has taken away something I would normally get from that battle. What's happening? What? No, this can't be. What? What?
Do what you want, cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate. You're hard-fitted indeed. Being a pirate is a right indeed. Do what you want, cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate. You are a pirate.
Where am I? What is this place? What's going on? Someone, please, explain what's happening. Ahoy there, matey. I be Daros, a humble ex-pirate. Daros? But you're supposed to be a new Mystery of the Emblem. What are you doing in a Pokemon game? I be in a state of limbo when it comes to video game characters at the moment. I've taken up a new career, I have. And what career would that be? Warn others of the evils of piracy. Piracy? But I'm sure I don't sail the sea, loot treasure, and engage in insult sword fighting competitions. What on earth do you mean? This kind of piracy be not the natural kind. I be talking about software piracy. Wait a minute, is this because I downloaded this game illegally? But in this age, everyone does that. I don't see what the problem is. You don't see the problem, you don't realise how many game developers ye have robbed of their hard-earned cash. How many lives ye be ruining. I myself know the evils of piracy and the damage it can wreak. And I, and the folks over at Nintendo, have vowed to ensure it never harms an innocent game developer again. But how? I really don't see how you can actually do anything to me from this. I mean, have ye not noticed yet? The one thing ye be missing out on. The one thing ye not be gaining from your battles. Wait a minute. You don't mean ye be cursed, and your Pokemon will never again see the light of experience. Okay? Battles will not satisfy. Experience turns to ash in your mouths, and all the level grinding in the world will not slake your lust for power. Ye be cursed. But wait, what? You're taking this out on my Pokemon? But it's me, I'm the one who pirated this game. Why should they have to suffer? So that you know that piracy doesn't hurt you. It hurts others in ways you could never possibly imagine. But that's not fair! But why punish my Pokemon for something I've done? They will never be able to grow? Are you serious? Never be able to level up, learn new moves, evolve? How could you do this? Ye should consider yourself lucky, boy. This actually be among the most lenient of our anti-piracy measures. Ye should see the sad fate that awaits those who pirate the original Earthbound. Those save files never saw it coming. Okay. So, basically my Pokemon can never gain experience, is that right? Aye. Well then, this gives me an idea. You know what? This curse may be a blessing in disguise. What? You see, I've always wanted to truly test out my skills in a Pokemon game in a way I've never been able to before. This curse might just do it. Say, I'll make you a little wager. I'll bet you that I can beat all 8 gyms, collect all the gym badges, defeat the Elite Four, and become Pokemon League champion without my Pokemon ever gaining a single point of experience. If I do that, then will you acknowledge that I do care about those game developers in this series? Well, maybe, but you'd be salt mad if you're trying such a scheme, lad. Well, that is kind of the point. So, challenge accepted? Aye, but I'll be saying this. Good luck, lad. You'll need it. Oh, don't worry. I never rely on luck. Oh, sorry for not using you in Mystery of the Emblem, by the way. Aye, that's okay. I wasn't at the top of me game then anyway. Right then, be seeing ya. I hope. Is he gone? Is he gone? Good! Right then, I can now officially explain the rules of this playthrough. Yeah, some of you have already guessed this. So, I am going to be playing through Pokemon Black version, but not as you know it. I am going to be playing this game with my Pokemon never gaining a single point of experience. This is actually, as you probably gathered, an anti-piracy measure built into the game. When I found out about this, I desperately searched for a ROM with this. Apparently, it was actually patched within hours of the game being released in Japan. That's how good those damn pirate hackers were. But still, the ROM I was actually looking for was one that was not patched, was one that actually had this anti-piracy measure, because hey, I actually thought it would be fun to see, how difficult this game can get if you never gain experience. And boy, it does get pretty damn hard at points, I can tell you that. Just a heads up, I've already recorded most of the game, so I probably won't be taking that many suggestions. But here's a general idea of how this playthrough is going to work. So, rules are, 1, my Pokemon never gain experience in battle. They can never level up or anything. Now, I haven't actually tested the daycare. I'm not actually sure if they actually can level up in the daycare or not. But for the time being, I'm going to assume no. Even if they could, I wouldn't do that. I consider that cheap. I have also confirmed, though, that rare candies do still work, making them a very, very valuable commodity. You want to save your rare candies for when you really, really need them in this game. So, apart from that, I'm actually going to set a few other extra rules, just because this game wasn't hard enough as it is. Extra rule number 1, I will put the battle style on sets. This means that I am not given the option to switch after I've KO'd an opposing trainer's Pokemon. It also means I don't get any forewarning what they're going to send out next. So, all my switches have to be done competitive battling style. I need to find a safe time to switch in. And that's going to be interesting. I really don't see why the sets option was even included in the game other than to make the game harder on yourself, so I may as well use it. And the next rule, no using revives during battle. I will say it right here, using revives outside of battle is fine. Often I'll need to, restore my team a bit between battles if things go really badly, but during the battle itself, I may not use revives. All other healing items, in fact all other items in general are fine, just no revives during battle, because that can get a bit cheap. So basically, if I lose a Pokemon in a battle, I can't use it again until the battle ends. That should make things a little more interesting and a bit more difficult. Now, as of the time for recording this, I still don't know whether you actually get heals between the final 2 battles of the game. That's the penultimate battle and the final boss. Now, if you don't get healed between those 2, because those battles do come one after the other with no opportunity to save, if you don't get healed, I may have to break that rule to revive any Pokemon I lost in the first battle. Because seriously, there's no way I'm going into the final boss without a full team. That'd just be ridiculous. To put it into perspective, they have level 52s, or is it 54, when the highest I can get at that point is like 42. So, yeah. If anyone knows if you get healed after the second last boss, but before the last boss, then please tell me, because if you don't, I might have to break the reviving rule. Other than that though, yeah, the rule is simple. no using revives during battle. Again, revives outside of battle are completely fine, just not in battle. And other than that, anything goes. Yes, legendaries are totally free for me to use, and trust me, I am going to need them later on. However, I'm probably not going to use Reshiram. So I'm going to say maybe non-Uber legendaries are okay, given that Reshiram isn't Uber, unless I'm really desperate and I find that the final battle is almost unwinnable without it, which is probably not true, I can tell you that. I feel pretty confident that I actually can beat the final boss without Reshiram, but if worse comes to worse and I do need to rely on it, then I will, but for the time being, I'm going to say no Reshiram. But the other legendaries are fine. I'm going to say that I'm planning to definitely use the Musketeer Trio and probably Tornadus. Yeah, they're all fine for me to use, and seriously, I'm really going to need that. But other than that, yeah, that's the rules. Now, the whole no experience rule means that my Pokemon aren't going to learn any moves by leveling up. TMs notwithstanding, they're stuck with what I catch them with, which means that TMs are very valuable in this playthrough. Very valuable. Not only that, but it's also important to catch Pokemon at as high a level as possible. I'm going to explain just how to do that once the video series proper starts. But yeah, you've got to ensure that you always catch the highest level possible, because they'll be stuck at that level. And this is why I said that your choice of starter doesn't really matter, because seriously, your starter will be level 5 permanently. That means they'll be of little use even in the first gym, which is level 14, by the way. So yeah, your starter's going to be pretty useless up to that until then. Still, they serve me well until that point. I'll talk about that in a bit. Also, just a heads up, do not expect any full character sheets for this game. There's just far too many Pokemon for that. I will tend to talk about the Pokemon I'm using and their strengths and weaknesses and whatnot in this kind of playthrough, but I'm not going to make full character sheets for everything because that's going to be just ridiculous. I think that's pretty much all I have to say. So, I will leave you now after this segment from the Fail Channel. Did you miss us? Welcome once again to the Fail Channel. We brought you fails from the land of Arcania. Now we bring you fails from the land of Unova. Yes, the Fail Channel is back. And well, it looks like we'll certainly be getting some good business from this player this time, given how hard they've decided to make the game on themselves. So we'll share with you, well, we already gave you a brief sample of the first fail, but that, in fact, wasn't the only rival battle-related fail of this attempt. So, roll the tapes. Can you believe this player's misfortune? He has to sit through this entire unskippable intro again! Oh, the pain. This is exactly why he recommends you save before receiving your starter. Now, let's just skip ahead to the good bit. So, the Bianca battle starts again, but of course, we all know how painfully this is going to end. Let's watch the misery unfold. I believe this whole situation speaks for itself, so I guess I'll just be silent for the time being. Wait for it, and critical hit! Oh, and so close too. So close and yet so fail. This has been the first installment of the Fail Channel Unova Edition. We'll certainly be seeing you again later for more hilarious failures. That will probably come down to player stupidity rather than sheer luck like this one.